Hi everybody, the Civic Garden Center wants you to grow food. Welcome back to our video series, In Isolation Still Together. Today we're going to talk about raised beds. I'm Greg Potter, I'm the Community Gardens Coordinator here, and I've built my share of them. There are a lot of plans out there, there's a lot of different styles, but we have one that's very straightforward, very efficient, uses readily available materials, relatively inexpensive, and only requires a very basic construction knowledge, which I'm about to demonstrate. You're going to end up with a garden bed that will grow food for your family and will last for years. So these are the materials you need to build your basic garden bed. So we've got 3 boards here. These are 2 inch by 10 inch pressure treated lumber. You can go with a 2 inch by 8 inch. If you've got the money, I would go with 2 by 10. Gives you a little more depth in your soil. This is the new pressure treated formula. It is now a safe product to use to grow food in. So what we're going to have is this is going to be a side, this is going to be a side, and this one cut in half is going to be the 2 ends that we've got going on. These are the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need a tape measure, a pencil, a square if you're going to be cutting the boards. If you aren't going to be cutting yourself, if you're not comfortable using the circular saw, which is another one of the tools here, I'd recommend having the hardware store, the box store, go ahead and cut for you. You'll need something to put the hardware in with. So in this case, you could use just a regular drill, a battery drill or an electric drill. I also have an impact driver. These put an awful lot of torque in things. It's good to have something like this. The hardware that we've got going on here, you can go old school with a lag bolt and a washer. Put an awful lot of garden beds together with these right here. They have new material out here which I like a lot. This thing right here is called Timber Tight. It's a landscape timber material, 4 inches long. It's got a hex head on there. It gets its own driver. You put this in right here, you put that in right there, and you can just drive right into the wood. Along the same vein, you've got these kind of fasteners right here, structural screws. They have a drill bit point to them so they drive in real easy. They have this shank at the end so that it tightens down real tight once it's in there. So we're going to be using a combination of these 2 today. They're a lot easier to use and I like them quite a bit. Go ahead and we're going to mark for our fasteners right here. You're going to be marking 3/4 of an inch over, and what that's going to do is when we put the fastener in, that's going to be the middle of the board that's facing the other direction. So it needs to be 3/4 of an inch over this way and 2 inches down this way. You may have to do it a couple times to get it exactly where you want it to be. That first one, right there's number 1. Right there's number 2. Now, if you're going to be putting a lot of these together, what I would recommend doing is making yourself a little jig. So this accomplished the same thing. You've got 3/4 of an inch up here, 2 inches down here. So the way this works, you would put that along one edge. You're over 3/4, you're down 2 inches. Flip it over, take it to the other edge. This is exactly the same as that. So let's go down to the other end here. You can see, if you've got a lot of these to do, taking the time to make a template really pays off in the marking of all the rest of them. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mark this one right down the middle. I'm going to put some ear protection in. I've got my impact resistant glasses, and we're good to go. Got our 2 screws. We'll stand this guy up right here. Bring this guy over. That's it. That's your basic box right there. Now, I've built a lot of them. We've got a lot of them in the ground that just like this. I'm going to show you one addition. If you've got the time, if you've got the money, I'd go ahead and do this as well. I think it's going to add a lot of years to your garden bed. It supports the area that's the weakest, which again is this corner right here. These are 4x4 blocks. They're cut off to fit exactly into the corners right there. We're going to put these in there just as an extra support and to help hold that corner together. What you're going to want to do, put them in the same height over on this side, but when you come over here, you're going to have to go a little bit different to miss these 2 screws that are going through there. All right, that's it. You got a garden bed you can probably get to 8 to 10 years worth of use out of. It's going to be very solid and it's going to give you a lot of room to grow a lot of food. The materials you'll need are 3 2x8 or 2x10 8-foot long pressure treated boards and 1 optional 4x4 4-foot long pressure treated board. Now so that's it. Pretty basic, extremely functional. Fill it with soil from either your box store or a landscape supplier. Run a soil test, which we talk about on another video. Plant your seeds. Let's all head down the path of growing our own food. We're all in isolation together. Let's make it count.